Hello everyone, as part of learning generative AI, let us see what are the GPT models that are prevailing and what are their features, what is the evolution process, and what are the advantages we are gaining with that, and what are the slight loopholes if at all they have. Under this discussion, we will be talking up to GPT-3, though the later versions are also available, we will stop with GPT-3. So, coming to a quick introduction of GPT, the generative pre-trained transformer. Please concentrate on the abbreviation. Here we will be talking about the three terms: generative, pre-trained, transformer. So, we will be talking about those three terms here. So, the GPTs are basically generative pre-trained transformers which are coming under the machine learning domain only, but they are exclusively designed for generating new content as well as understanding the human readable content, and they can also do specific tasks like summarization, translation, etc. This is developed by OpenAI and they are coming under the domain of natural language processing, and they are doing most of the natural language processing tasks. Not only that, they are also generating new content. Natural language domain is also there, natural language generation, natural language processing. These domains GPTs are leaping their steps into. Now, there are so many applications in which the GPT models are used. We are also aware of all those applications, chatbot, chat GPT. We are using so many applications of generative AI and the GPT models. What are the key concepts of GPT models? As I told, we will be concentrating on the three keywords which are there in the abbreviation: generative, pre-trained, and transformer architecture. Generative, the GPT models have the feature called generative, meaning what they can do is they can produce new text. Unlike the existing text processing systems, they are not simply processing the text and giving a result, they are able to generate the new text. How are they able to do that? They are learning the language, they are getting trained on the language and understanding the patterns of the language, and they are able to generate new content. So, generate GPT models, they come with the feature called generative, which means they can produce new text based on the input they are receiving, and they are generating the language during the process of that generation. What they are doing is they are using the concept called prediction. How are they predicting? What is the next word in the sentence? Not only simply next sentence prediction, what they are trying to do is they are predicting word by word when they are generating the new text. Pre-trained, these models, the GPT models are pre-trained on vast amounts of data. We know they are trained on entire book corpus, just like Wikipedia. They are trained on massive amounts of data. So, they are worked with pre-training based on the human language data set, and this pre-training is teaching the model to understand the grammar of the language and what are the patterns that we use when we communicate in that language, what are the facts about current world, etc. Various things. Not only that, the reasoning abilities also. Because of all these pre-training concepts, they are able to generate new content because they have understood the entire behavior of the language, behavioral patterns of the language. They are understanding that, because of which they are able to generate new content. Apart from this, what is the third term under GPT? Transformer architecture. What is transformer architecture? This transformer architecture is introduced into the GPT models in 2017 by Google. What is transformer? It's a type of neural network which will help to process the sequential data. What do we mean by sequential data? Where the data should be processed following a sequence, like text information, audio information, wherein you cannot skip the sequence. So the transformers have the capability to process sequence by sequence or sequence to sequence processing. And the GPTs can handle long range dependencies of the text, and they are also able to adapt to producing coherent and contextually meaningful sentences. So the GPT models, to summarize, they have the generative capacity wherein they are generating new content. They have huge amounts of data on which they are pre-trained, and they are working with transformer architecture. Not only that, they are also working with the self-attention mechanism. What do I mean by self-attention mechanism? We try to give weights to each and every word, and we try to allot a kind of priority. Thereby, we can understand which word has more importance in a particular sentence and which word is to be predicted accurately. All such concepts come under self-attention mechanism. So the GPTs are working with these 4 basic mechanisms. And how the GPT models work? They work on tokenization, wherein their text is split into tokens. What is the basic token here? Word and subword. So you can also split a word into subword, wherein you have say for example, when you have the concept called prefix and suffix for a specific word, you can still divide a word into subwords also. Training and inference. During the training phase, the model is fed with huge amounts of data. Huge is again a smaller word here. Vast amounts, volumes of data will be fed to the model during the training phase, and the model learns to predict what is the next token in the sentence. I will show you some examples here. And once the model is trained with the huge amounts of data, it can produce text based content whenever we give a prompt. Say for example, whenever we are using ChatGPT, we give a prompt like tell me something about Mahatma Gandhi. This is the prompt. Then it will start producing the content by taking the prompt as the seed word, right? Fine tuning. Once the model has got the training on huge amounts of data, volumes of data, it can do the generation of text and all. What is fine tuning? It not only can generate new text and all, it can do a specific task related to the language, like summarization, translation, dialogue in that specific language. All such things can be done. So when it is training, it is learning the entire language. During the process of fine tuning, it is performing a specific task. What are the applications of GPT models? So these are only some of the applications which I am listing out. There are many more applications the GPT models are put into. And what are the benefits of GPT models? Benefits, as we know, they are working under numerous domains. There is, you cannot name any domain where they are not stepping into. So they are used in versatile as well as numerous domains. And why they have become so popular? Because they are generating human like responses. As you might have seen under NLP also, like you can ask, tell me what is ChatGPT for a 2-year-old kid, a 5-year-old kid, a 10-year-old kid, or a 20-year-old adult. So you are trying to customize the GPT depending on the user, how best the user can understand. Depending on the user characteristics, you are deciding what kind of response or what kind of text you want the GPT model to generate. And what else it reduces? It reduces the need for extensive labeled data sets in various NLP tasks. Why do we say this is reducing the need for labeled data sets? Because whenever the pre-training is happening, it is happening under unsupervised model. So wherein you don't require the labeled data. What are the limitations? Definitely, whenever we are working with huge amounts of data, volumes of data, vast amounts of data, you need to have high computational speeds, thereby the computational costs will be incurring. And sometimes it can produce biased information, or sometimes it may be incorrect. When you are trying to keep on working with ChatGPT or any kind of social networking platform, after some point of time, you see the context is lost, right? So that is where you are trying to get some biased or incorrect informations. And potential ethical issues, the moment whenever you have a biased or incorrect informations, definitely ethical issues have to be addressed. So evolution from GPT-1 to GPT-3, as I told, we are confining our discussion from GPT-1 to GPT-2 to GPT-3, though the later versions are also available. As part of the curriculum, we are confining ourselves up to GPT-3. When did GPT-1 came into existence? In 2018. If you see the model size, it is trained on a data set with 117 million parameters. This is a huge amounts of data, but when you are going through GPT-1, they say GPT-1 is trained on a lesser data set or a smaller data set. How small it is? It is having only 117 million parameters, only 117, right? What is the contribution of GPT-1? It's the first successful application which is equipped with transformer based generative NLP. What are the major features of GPT-1? It is laying the foundation for transformers, and it works with unsupervised pre-training and supervised fine-tuning. These are the features prevailing with pre-training and fine-tuning. What are the limitations of that? It's a small model. As I told, it's a small model size limited to understanding and quality of the text generation. Limited. What is the limited knowledge it has got? With that smaller data set it has got. And what are the responses? The responses are slightly lacking the coherence, and majority of the times the prompts need to be bit longer. GPT-2 introduced in 2019. What is the model size it has got? 1.24 billion to 1.5 billion parameters. A bit increased scale of the data set. This improves the text generation capabilities, addressing the limitations of GPT-1. What are the major features? Larger data sets and parameters. And what is this equipped with? Zero shot learning. What is zero shot learning? In the previous sessions we have seen, whenever you are trying to perform a specific task after pre-training, either you need a less amount of training towards this specific task, or you don't need a training at all. So when I don't need any training to perform a specific task after learning a language, we call it as zero shot learning. So this model is equipped with zero shot learning. And more realistic text generation, because GPT-1 is trying to give less coherent text generation, this is trying to give more realistic data which is coherent to the prompt that has been given. What are the limitations of this one? Again, accuracy issues are there in spite of giving a larger data set, and deploying the model size might be difficult because of its increased size in data items. Coming to GPT-3, introduced in 2020, which is having 1.25 billion to 1.75 billion parameters. Now the models are going up to 2 billion parameters also. What is the key contribution of GPT-3? Massive scale up of the data set, and some tasks require few shot learning, and majority of the tasks require zero shot learning. What else it has come up? It has broad task range. It can summarize the text, it can translate the language sentences from one language to the other, and sometimes it can generate code also. That is where the students are taking benefit of GPT-3, wherein it is generating code also, programming code also. API access, as I told, the moment you are trying to work with generating the code, entire chatbot application can be generated using GPT-3 models. So, various applications are there for which the APIs are already available. What are the limitations? Again, whenever you are working with language, how big you have the training data set, still there are some types of biasedness, and computational resource requirement is very high, and sometimes it lacks understanding and doesn't produce an approved solution or approved text for your prompt. So, in the later sessions we will see some of the applications and we shall see some specific applications of GPT models. Thank you.